The fun never sets at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. And this fall, it's like 2 parks in one, with fun by day and fright by night. Catch a ride on our world-class coasters, like the amazing new Tempesto. Then things get eerie in the evening at Busch Gardens Hallow Scream, including Unearthed, Scarlet's Revenge, each Friday, Saturday, and Sunday through November 1st. Save a bundle when you book a Busch Gardens weekend getaway. Park admission with hotel starts at just $50 per person per night. Visit buschgardens.com/VA for details. Restrictions apply.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, you are now tuned in to 110 Sports Talk. I go by the name Lynn Knight. Hey,
it's the best.
Running through the competition, no competition. You don't believe it, turn us up. Sit back and listen. We bringing you the stats, all the breaking news and facts. Want the latest on the biggest trade, well this is where it's at. We don't talk it, boy, we live it, got that all around coverage. From track and field, you name a field, we got it all covered. No diss to Derrick Rose, but we don't talk that bull. Just wait till he get healthy, better watch out for them bulls. Slide over the hockey, shout out to the Kings. Salute to LeBron James, y'all both got y'all rings. Looking for the real, you tune into the best. The sportologist and Mr. CJ Sports is up next.
I want to welcome everybody to the 110 Nation Sports Show. I am your host, Mr. CJ Sports. You can follow me at CJ Sports 1. You can follow the 110 Nation at 110 Nation. Glad to be here on this day. Yes, that is so. Unfortunately, it's the last day of the week for the 110 Nation Sports Show, but have no fear. No fear at all. Tomorrow we got the debut of Talking Hoops. We'll be debuting that at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow night on the 110 Nation Sports Radio Network. And then 9 o'clock, we got another episode of Racing with Big Sweat. And then Friday, the debut of the CJ and Shorty show, kicking off at noon on Friday. So there's plenty more shows to go this week. But this will be the last episode of the 110 Nation Sports Show this week, unfortunately. But we got a great show planned for you. We got Mason Mitchell making his return to the 110 Nation Sports Show. Glad to have him back on. I want to say it's about the third time we've had him on. So looking forward to having him back. He's got some big news, things that are going on over at Triple M for this weekend at Kansas. So looking forward to talking to him about how the season has fared out, what to expect coming up for Kansas, and then possibly moving into the 2016 season. So looking forward to that. We're supposed to have Shorty join us later on this evening to do NFL picks, but unfortunately she got called into work. It seems that the owner got real sick, and the other manager, or the shift leader, whatever you want to call him, hadn't been off for like a week. So they didn't want to make him be stuck there to open and close, so Shorty had to go in. And so we won't have her to do the picks tonight. So it was just me. So looking forward to doing my picks and touch on some of the other things. We've been putting this out, and I want to thank those that will catch this on Spreaker later on tonight, because this episode will be shifted over there as well. But I want to thank all those that went to our Spreaker platform and liked us, or followed us, I mean. Not like, but follow. We've been putting it out there and putting it out there and putting it out there that on the Spreaker platform we need 100 follows to help make ourselves eligible to be able to be on the iHeartRadio network. And there's a lot of people that work here at the 110 Nation, work hard here to be able to do what they really love doing. And essentially we're all doing it for free. As a matter of fact, it's costing me an arm and a leg, but that's here nor there. All of our goals is to be able to do this on a full-time basis, to be able to make a living doing what we do. We're not working for ESPN, but it's ultimately what we want to do is get paid and be able to talk sports all day long. I mean, that's what we want our career to be. We enjoy it. We love it. We have a passion for it. And getting on the iHeartRadio network to open up a whole new listener base, to open up opportunities for sponsorship, to open up for opportunities to have our presence felt at more and more sporting events would mean the world to everybody that works very hard here. From Miss Lee, who talks to every single guest. I have no contact until these drivers come on or these athletes come on or our guests. It depends on whatever they're in. Until 99% of the time until they're on the show, I have had no contact. There's been a few that I originally contacted, and we got a couple more coming on that I know she's got scheduled a few weeks down the road that I initiated the contact, but 99% of the time, I do not talk to our guests at all until we get them on the show. And then, a lot of times after that, I stay in contact. We are friends. A lot of the guests we have come on the show, I'm friends with on Facebook, and we might comment back and forth on things. But initially, Miss Lee takes care of all that. Schedules them, contacts them, keeps in contacts, keeps good relations with every single one of our guests. And they got Izzo, who's spending his time to put on, tell us about the NHL and what's going on, and is going to be traveling to do Carolina games as well because we got them approved. Patrick Taylor, who has, like I said the other night, has no nothing invested into this, no invested interest in the 110 Nation. He has his own stuff going on. He just enjoys being able to come over here and talk NFL on the air. Yes, promote himself, but genuinely just likes coming over helping us do this. Steve Billmeyer, same way, Thursday night show. Chris Creighton, Thursday night show. They love having the opportunity to be able to talk to local race car drivers and be able to let them be heard on the air and help them as much as they can get publicity and fans and everything else. Us getting on the iHeartRadio network, for anybody that's ever been on the iHeartRadio network, you know how big of an app this is, how big of a deal this could help, how much this could help the 110 Nation, how big of a deal this really could be. On top of that, we have already got potential sponsors in line if we can make this happen, which could take a burden off of mine and Shorty's pockets and also help provide some kind of income for those that are working for us for free. That's what the ultimate goal is eventually supplement the income more and more as this goes. So this is their full-time job, and then we get more opportunities to have them on the air and more shows and so forth and so forth. We got to have 100 follows over there on the Spreaker Network. We're asking you, please, just go over there and go to Spreaker.com and hit the follow button, or go to the 110 Nation Sports Show or the 110 Nation Network and just follow us. If you're friends with us on Facebook or you like our fan pages, it's on there as well, the 110 Nation Sports Radio and the Mr. CJ Sports fan page. You can also go to www.spreaker.com /user/the 110 Nation. Just all we're asking is just to follow. I think the only thing it does is maybe give you an email notification we have a show, and I think it's it, or it might just show up on your feed whenever we post a show, but I don't think it does that. I think the only thing it does is just sends you an email at most. And it might not even do that, and you might even be able to cancel that if it does, but I don't know. But we need 100 followers, at least 100 followers, so we can get that off the list. And from what I've seen, that's really the only thing that's holding us up from having potential sponsors and being on the iHeartRadio network. So please, do us a favor, especially if you're friends of anybody on the show or part of the 110 Nation. They're working very hard. They have worked very hard to have this opportunity, and all of them would love to be able to have a career in this opportunity and make this reality be a dream. So please just do us the courtesy of going over there and following us on Spreaker, so we can work on getting on the 110 Nation Sports Radio, we can get on the iHeartRadio network. And not only do we already have potential sponsors, we already got potential other shows ready to line up as well. So quickly, the 110 Nation Sports Radio Network is going to have it's going to have a full schedule, but also it's going to have a dilemma. It's a dilemma I like having. Eventually, we're not going to have enough airtime. Eventually, we're going to have to buy more airtime. And we might be losing BTR because they only offer 3 hours. We can only go up 1 more hour on the BTR, and they can't split up the time. At least Spreaker, for about the same price that we're paying for the 2 hours here, I think we can get 5 hours there, but then we can go 24/7 for a really good price. And they sent out a thing today showing us how to have call-ins. So at this point, I don't even really have to have BTR. We just like having the platform. Plus, I haven't learned how to, get everything set up to bypass it and have call-ins on Spreaker. But that's looking more and more like a reality, a realistic possibility. So it's a situation I would love to have. I would love to have that we got to have more than 3 hours worth of airtime a day. That, it continues to expand, but that's kind of the first step is getting on the iHeartRadio network. So if you can, please go over, follow us, show your support. I think we're up to 38 now. We're slowly but surely getting it. It's crazy because we got hundreds and hundreds of likes on Facebook. I got, 1,700 likes on my fan page. We're, 10, 20, 20,000, 10,000, 30,000 between the two, I think, follows on Twitter, and I'm struggling to get 38 so far follows. It's kind of depressing sometimes, and especially the hundreds of friends I have on Facebook personally, not to mention everybody else has been sharing it. So, just do a favor, hold this up. County Sheriff releases Lamar Odom's 911 tapes, test blood for drug use. The Nye County Sheriff's Office held a press conference Wednesday afternoon to discuss the circumstances surrounding the hospitalization of ex-NBA forward Lamar Odom. The 35-year-old Odom was rushed to the hospital Tuesday after being found unconscious at the Love Ranch, a legal brothel near Bar Hump, Nevada. According to the owner Dennis Hoff, Odom has been on site since Saturday before employees found him unresponsive with liquid coming out of his nose and mouth. He was then transported by ambulance to Sunrise Hotel in Las Vegas after medical staff decided that the 6'10" Odom could not be airlifted due to his size. Wednesday's press conference included the release of 911 tapes, which included an employee stating that Odom had used cocaine shortly after his arrival at the brothel. On Saturday, it is not currently known how or where Odom procured the drug. Earlier reports, including statement from Hoff, claimed that Odom had only taken herbal Viagra supplements. The audio tape included statements that Odom had taken approximately 10 doses of pills during his stay. According to the sheriff, Sharon Weirley, authorities obtained a search warrant to test Odom's blood for drugs, although they did not have any results at the time of the press conference. Investigators were also looking at the possibility of a suicide attempt in addition to other scenarios. Weatherly could not provide an update on Odom's condition, but the two-time NBA champion and 2011 Sixth Man of the Year is still at Sunrise Hospital. CNN reports that Odom's estranged wife, Khloe Kardashian, who filed for an as-yet not who filed for an as yet not finalized divorce in 2013 is making medical decisions for him. The same report states that Odom's 2 children from previous relationships as well as his father are also present. Tell you what, sticky world, you know. It's a shame having the opportunity to be a 2-time NBA champion, 6th Man of the Year, and I would also throw in married to one of the Kardashians, but I don't know if that's really a plus. But it's a shame that drugs and alcohol and all those things how people allow those things to destroy their life. You know, we just got done talking about the USC coach being fired for his alcohol issues, and also rumors of pills. It goes to show that there's no perfect life out there. No matter how good it seems that somebody has it, they don't know the whole truth. And I mean, speaking from personal experience with this, you know, we got personal stuff going on in our household now, and you know, it's very personal, and a lot of people have no idea. It shows that you don't judge a book by its cover. Yes, it's easy to sit there and say, you know, it must be rough to be a multimillionaire. It must be hard to be a 2-time NBA champion. It must be hard to be married to a Kardashian, the money that's involved with that. Yeah, I saw something today that was rather interesting. That talking about how people were making fun of Lamar Odom when he had the cocaine issue and was going through all his issues. But now that he's in the hospital, now you're praying for him. Now you have concern. Where was you when the problem was going on? Why was you not praying then and supportive then? Why, more or less, why was you clowning him when he was going through all this and he was spiraling out of control? It's always easy to be there. It's always easy to be there when they're at their lowest and you really don't have to do any work to sit there and say, I'm praying for you, or just sit there and say, you know, or it's easy to go up there and, you know, sit next to them, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But when stuff is hard, when someone is really struggling, it's amazing how many people turn their back because it's not convenient for them. It's not easy for them. You know, to be there for somebody doesn't always mean it's going to be easy. To be there for somebody doesn't mean you're only there when it's convenient or easy. You know, not to go too personal into my life, but opportunity to have someone there that without a doubt has my back. And if I was going through that stuff, they would have my back. They wouldn't wait until it was easy for them. And likewise, I've done the same. When it wasn't easy, I was there. When things were tough and it wasn't simple, that's when I was there. It was easy for me to wait until rock bottom was hit and, oh, well, I'm praying for you, or now I'm here for you. And just like now, the situation is, rough here. And instead of waiting until it's easy and too late, I got somebody that's going to step up and really show their loyalty and really show how much everybody in this household means. And so it's a shame that Lamar Odom didn't have the same thing. It's a shame that it took until now, until he's fighting for his life, that he is getting support and he's getting family. He's getting what Kobe Bryant left immediately after the preseason game yesterday to go see him. I mean, it's a shame. You got so many people out there that wish they were famous and they were rich. And as cliche as it is, and as much as this song is wore out, I mean, more money brings more problems. I guess some athletes and some celebrities do it better than others. But I know this is a very common thing to be going on with those that have the money. And it just amazes me that there's so many athletes that this is what happens. Yes, I know it's easy to not have no money and then be all of a sudden showered in money. All of a sudden go from just having your group, your posse, to everybody wanting to be friends. Go from having a normal life to living in big, huge houses and partying. And then that partying get old and you do other things to spice up the party. And I understand. Well, I'm not going to understand. I can imagine. I don't understand, because I would like to believe that I would just spend my time away from the spotlight and at the gym and making sure that I am secure in my career and secure in my bank account. That's just me, but I don't know. It's just crazy that we got so many athletes out there that they throw it away. For all those that don't make it, that would appreciate it, cherish it, and make the most of it, it's a shame that we have those that don't, that use it, abuse it, and that's it. Thoughts and the prayers of the 110 Nation are out with Lamar Odom and his family and his kids and friends and everybody else. I know it's regardless how you feel about it, I'm not trying to be mean about it, but it's really a shame that you get an opportunity to have a very easy life. You get opportunity to make millions of dollars to play basketball. I mean, I understand it takes a lot of physical wear and tear in your body. I understand that you play 82 games a year, 81, 82. I know that you're constantly on the road and everything else. I understand all that. But when it comes down to it, when you break it down, cut it up, chop it up, black and white on a piece of paper, you're getting paid to play basketball. You're getting paid to do what hundreds of thousands of kids and young adults and adults, probably millions, on a daily basis do in the gym, in the playground, on the street, whatever the case may be, in college, for free. You get paid millions to do it. It can't be that tough. Life can't be that hard. You got to have some kind of common sense and not let things get carried away. I mean, I would think. I mean, obviously I'm wrong because it's not like Odom's the first. I just couldn't imagine. I played football when I was little. I played baseball when I was little. I bowled when I was little. I couldn't imagine any of those that I would have got paid to do them professionally. Now, obviously, I'm sure bowlers don't get paid millions. I don't even know what an average bowler gets paid. It's probably more than I'm getting paid right now, and all they got to do is just go and I say just go roll a ball, but I love bowling, and I have done leagues many, many years, so, I mean, I'm not trying to insult the game, but I couldn't imagine getting the opportunity to play those games, play those sports, whatever you want to call them, and get paid to do them for a living. And the only thing I got to do is just keep myself in shape or don't hurt myself. Yes, you got to do sponsor commitments and charity commitments and travel, but I mean, you go play your sport and you're done. Like, I don't know. I really don't get it. I truly, honestly don't. I guess because I've not been there. I've not been around the scene. I guess the closest thing to anything I've been to is, pulling security at a club, or multiple clubs in Chapel Hill right there, UNC, and see the party life. UNC players, I mean, that's not really, NBA or NFL players, it's just NCAA stuff. But I don't know. I guess I'm different because, I'm also the same CEO and the founder of a company that has a show that opens up my personal life, and I provide an opportunity for our listeners and fans and even employees of the show kind of know what's going on behind the scene or getting to know, the making, the 4.5 years this has been going on, and just different stories. So, I mean, I guess I think outside the box a lot more than the average person, I guess. I feel that I need that personal relationship, and I feel that the time that our listeners are investing into us and our show, that I owe them the same courtesy of investing myself out there so they know what they're investing their time into. And, so I guess I commonly think outside the box. So, I don't know. Like I said, I thought the players are with Lamar Odom, but it's crazy. I 35 years old. I'm already past that. I couldn't imagine winning 2 NBA championships, winning many awards, made millions, and possibly not even make it past 35. Hell, I'm struggling and living in one of the crappiest places I've ever lived in my life, thanks to Bank of America and the foreclosure and unemployment and everything else that's happened over the last year. But I couldn't imagine having that life and not appreciating it. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy to me. It really is. But anyway, like I said, thoughts and prayers out to Odom. Hopefully he pulls this through. Hopefully this is a wake-up call. Hopefully the family and the friends will obviously take this as a sign that things are a lot more serious than I guess they realize, and maybe Lamar Odom will get the proper help and support that he really needs, and maybe he can pull out of this and have a long career, or a long life, obviously. So hopefully, yes, Miss Lee, I'm getting ready to get him in. Miss Lee's making sure I'm paying attention in the studio. We got Mason Mitchell making a return to the show, a past champion. It seems that I'm not going to jinx this weekend, and well, I'm trying not to jinx it, and I'm not trying to say that the 110 is rubbing off for good luck, but he ends up winning this championship, and I mean, granted, all he had to do was start the car to win the championship last year, but he was on the show right before he won the championship. Then he was on the show right before he went to Iowa. Hopefully this is the third time is a charm, and we could turn it, I guess, complete the trifecta, and this weekend he is victorious at Kansas, or at least one of the Triple M cars will be victorious. I think at this point, I think he would be happy with any of those options. But without any further delay, we got Mason in the studio. How are you doing tonight, Mason?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for having me back on. And, yeah, I think we have a really good chance of winning Friday night and making it happen. And I know we have a really fast Carl Chevrolet Impala, along with two other fast race cars here at Mason Mitchell Motorsports. So really looking forward to it and ready to rock and roll.
It's crazy because the first time we had you on the show, you were going for your first championship. It was a one-car organization. And then the next time we get you on the show, you're now the youngest team owner / driver with Austin Wayne Self and yourself, and now you're a two-car operation. And then here we go going into Kansas, and it's getting even bigger. How did this come about, and how exciting is this for you as a team owner to see your team grow and not just put a car out there to say you're grow, but put three competitive cars out there on the track?
Yeah, I mean, it's been an ultimate, goal of mine, and I'm super ecstatic about it. But I wanted to make the right approach at it and, walk before you run and stuff like that. So I wanted to make sure we made the right moves as an organization. Last year we were successful running in one team, and I had goals of going into this season running multiple teams. So we've had success with Austin behind the wheel of 98 this year, and we've had success when I was behind the wheel of 78, and now we're hopefully going to have success running three teams this weekend at Kansas, and couldn't be more honored to have the most recent NASCAR Cape World Truck Series winner John West Townley making his debut with Mason Mitchell Motorsports this weekend at Kansas.
What kind of relationship did you have with him? You guys had a prior relationship? Had he drove with you guys before, or was this just something, you guys just happened to, he just wanted to come back and run the ARCA car, and you happened to provide the opportunity?
Yeah, no, we never. This is our first time and everything like that. But I've known John for the past couple of years now. Just racing him in the ARCA Series race, almost all the races last year full time in the series, and then a year before that, and then a couple of the team members on our team have some good relationships with him, and we just wanted to put something together for him, and he wanted to do it, and we all made it happen, and I think he's super ecstatic about it. Obviously, he knows we have fast race cars, and obviously we know that he can wheel a race car around Kansas Speedway really well. So I think we'll be pretty pleased with our performance Friday night.
Did you ever think that you would have not only a race team, but three cars in your stable on a track at the same time, and more so at such a young age?
Probably not. I mean, it's always like a goal, you know, and something you dream about. You sit down at the lunch table or something like that, and just plotting out this plan on sketch pad or something like that, and this is what I want to do and everything like that. But actually, making it a reality is actually really rewarding, and such a cool opportunity. And it's just taking a lot of hard work from everybody here at Mason Mitchell Motorsports, putting it all together, and they've done an excellent job of making it happen. And I'm super ecstatic for it, and think it will go really smooth, and it's just something hopefully we'll become to see in the future.
Do you ever pinch yourself to make sure this is not all one big dream?
Yeah, I do, and I think I think sometimes just the adversity that we face and everything like that definitely keeps you in check, because there are some really, really good times in the sport and the business, but when with success comes adverse situations. I think that's what makes people really good leaders, really good champions, and awesome teams, is that they know how to win, but when the back's against the wall, they can become stronger and a better team.
Is Kansas the final race in your guys' schedule, or is there one more after that?
Yeah, Kansas is the finale.
And I've seen a few other teams kind of change up, and it seems like Brandon Jones is going to be running 2 in the 25 car. It seems like this is going to be a very competitive weekend. What's the difference between your guys' 3 driving styles? Are you guys relatively similar? You guys different? You guys share notes? Is it close? Are you guys close enough in driving styles to share notes?
I mean, I think everybody has their little different uniqueness, which is good. But all our race cars are prepared by all the same people. So we're all unloading pretty close to each other. We all share notes. We all know what each other has. So it's not like one person gets something better than the other. They're all built by everybody at the shop, and they're all been successful race cars throughout the seasons here. And it's just going to be about giving good feedback, working through the practice, and getting as close as you can for the race, because we are going to be battling some track condition changes that we practice and qualify during the day, and we race at night. So, but I feel like we have a really good baseline, and we'll unload pretty quick. It's just going to take some minor tweaking, and hopefully we'll be strong in the race.
Going into the season versus now, did you accomplish everything you wanted to accomplish this year, especially with kind of the unknown of what it was going to be like having one full-time and one part-time car? Did you guys get to accomplish everything you was hoping for this season?
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I think most people would probably say yes, but I'm going to say yes and no. I mean, we've had 2 wins so far. Hopefully we can pick up a third, which is more wins than we had last year. But I really wish we could have backed up our championship again. But that's part of racing, and there's always circumstances you're going to face and adversity that you're going to have to battle back. And hopefully we can do it. We can win the championship next year. But so it's been as a whole, I think it's been a successful year and a good year. But I'm super competitive and want probably more than what I should need at the time. But I want to win championships. I want to win every award that's possible, win as many races as you can. So we're going to keep on fighting strong this last race and hope to go out with a bang, and hopefully we could even swoop the top 3. But that's going to be hard to do, but it's possible. And then we go in the off season and build some strong race cars for next year and do it all again.
How big of a help was it having Zaxby's come on board?
It's awesome. I mean, John West has a great relationship with Zaxby's, obviously, and had some food at Zaxby's the other night, and man, chicken salad sandwich was good.
Speaking like a true race car driver, I tell you what, Michael Waltrip, he is about the best when it comes to it. He can be sitting there with just talking in conversation and throwing out about 5 to 10 sponsors, and unless you're really paying attention, you have no idea that he just unloaded every sponsor that he has, because you're just wrapped up in the conversation. I did this once when I was working. Now, when I worked at one of my prior places, we didn't have broccoli. I worked in a New York style pizza place. So we know code word broccoli meant that there was a beautiful woman somewhere, and you need to look. And I was talking to this very elderly woman. She must have been like 70 years old, and I was talking, broccoli, talking, just like that. Threw the word broccoli in. She had no idea I threw that word in, and every single guy in the store was looking out the front window to see what I was talking about. That's kind of every time I see Michael Waltrip, that's what I visualize is that event that I experienced. And did you hear you just throw that in there real quick? It just reminds me of Michael Waltrip. He's like the king of that. I got a question because I was sitting there thinking about adding a third team. It's easy to throw a car together because you got cars in the shop. How difficult was it to add a crew and have a crew ready that is up to par to that's not work right? Unless you guys pulled him from his truck team. Where did his crew come from? Is it coming from the truck team, or did you guys have to assemble a team together?
Actually, it's not. We put some people together, and that part was actually probably one of the easier parts, to be honest. At first, I didn't figure it would be, but we have some good relationships with people who are out the industry, and we made it happen. And we got a really, really good group of guys doing it, led by Marty Lindley. He's crew chief in it, which he crew chiefs a full-time Canyon car at Scott Motorsports, and some of the guys from there are helping out doing it. And then we have a good relationship with Tyler Young Motorsports, owned by Tyler Young, and his truck hauler and all his truck team equipment and his hauler driver and stuff like that. We're able to utilize that this weekend. So we're not short anything. We're going to nicest stuff out there. Really top of the line, quality people doing the gig, and really looking forward to it.
I don't know. You make it seem so simple, but it just seems just trying to get the right pieces together on a crew and your driver on all that on the same page at the same time. Just seems that you're asking for a lot of chemistry to work all of a sudden at one time, and it just seems to be more difficult than just yes, we got top quality people and top quality products, but the chemistry I would think would be difficult to master in a little bit of time.
It can be. The whole method to the madness is just proper planning. You got to work with everybody. Everybody have the right communication and be open and plan it all out. And it's not too difficult. And make it all happen. And then with John having some relationships with people. My crew chief Kevin Reed winning Daytona a couple years ago in the ARCA race. That makes things a lot easier and better. Obviously, John's confidence is through the roof right now with winning that truck win at Vegas, and I think everything is going to be really well.
What and if any plans are for 2016? Is there any possibilities of 3 cars out there at any point next season at this point, or is this kind of a one-time experimental deal? And then also with the 2 cars, is the second car going to have more of a schedule next year, or is it still just going to be a part-time with one full-time car? Yeah,
I would really like to have plan to have 2 full-time teams and that third one in there when it can. It's just want to do it the right way and slowly but surely make it all happen and do the right thing and make sure we have the right talent behind our wheels. So that's what these next couple months are crucial about getting all our stuff finalized and everything's looking pretty good. So we're just gonna work hard at that and continue on.
So do you miss being in the car on a full-time basis?
Oh, absolutely. I'd be lying to you if I didn't. And that's another reason I'm working hard on some stuff next year. And I know everything, as long as it goes to plan and it keeps moving forward like we have been, I definitely feel confident I'll be back behind the saddle more than 5 races like I was this year, or I guess it'll be 6, I think, after Kansas. Not just in this series, but hopefully maybe some Canyon stuff and some truck stuff.
Now, I know that my jaw's going to hit the ground when you answer this question because I know it's young, but I can't remember how young. How young are you?
I just turned 21 this past summer.
That's what I thought, right around 21. It just amazes me because where your team is at, and even just the point that we've gotten you on the show to now, up till now, is grown so much, and how well you've managed to conduct all this. And what's the day-to-day life like now that you have even more on your plate? Do you get much personal time at all?
I mean, I do a little bit. I live at the shop still, so it's coming up on I think 2 years of living there, and it's all been good, and I consider this my personal life, so it can get crazy at times, but make it all work and try to get out here and there just to get your mind off some things, but this is what I want to do, and try to stay focused at it and keep having success and moving up to the ladder.
Is there really an off season for you at all? I know the drivers get a little bit of time, but they're also not involved with the logistics and acquiring sponsorships and everything else that you got to do. Do you actually get any kind of off season? Is there any plans to maybe take a week, 2 weeks off at any point, or is right now you're looking at you're going to be on the grind every day up until Daytona?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you're really not doing is traveling to events and everything. Everything else is basically the same. You might be able to take advantage of some weekends off and stuff like that, and a 3-day weekend. Obviously, you have the holidays with Thanksgiving and Christmas. So always, want to make sure your guys get taken care of there and can see their family. But other than that, it's usual business.
How comfortable are you with Kansas? Speaking of this race coming up.
I mean, I'm real comfortable. I like the track. We've always ran really well there. I felt like been fast, had a lot of speed before, and hopefully we can capitalize on it. It's kind of a second home track because it's only 3 hours down the road from where I'm from originally in West Des Moines, Iowa. So I got a lot of friends, family coming out. Of course, Carl Chevrolet is supporting us this weekend, which it's close to their hub in Des Moines, or Ankeny, Iowa. So I'm confident, and I think we can make it happen.
With your full-time driver, Austin Wayne, how do you feel this season went for him, and what's your assessment of him this year?
I think he should be really proud of what he accomplished this year. He picked up his first career win. He's battling for a spot in second in the points. A lot of top 5s, top 10s, laps led. So he's done a really good job for himself this year, and hopefully he can take that momentum and keep moving forward through his career.
That's definitely cool. And that's got to be something that's a little bit different, especially for the drivers out there, for someone like you that's not only going to manage your car and your game plan, but also try to be an influential piece or help out a fellow competitor, but you're also your other driver. So I can imagine how mentally exhausting as well as physically exhausting you got to be by the time Monday rolls around, and then it all starts over again.
Yeah, I kind of hate Mondays, to be honest. You got, obviously you're coming back from the race weekend. There's so much work to do in the shop just to get regrouped, and handling all the paperwork and bookwork in the office, getting all settled up from the past weekend. So it can be a hassle, but you got to do it and make it happen. It all works.
I'll tell you what, I couldn't imagine nothing at all. At 21, I was just glad to be able to finally legally drink somewhere. It makes it sound like I was just a party guy. I was in the military and worked 40-plus hours in another job. Our going out drinking was we got in somewhere at 11, 12 o'clock where we knew the special was, and we was there for a couple hours, and that was the extent of the night. It wasn't necessarily all partying, but, that's what my mentality was. I was military, and I was, a delivery guy at the time. So I could imagine being responsible for as much as you are responsible. You ever sit there and think about that, as much as you're responsible for people's livelihood and making sure that, there's going to be food on the table. You know, we're looking for a paycheck and, you know, everything that is involved with you being a team owner. Do you ever sit there and just sit back and think, and does that add any pressure to you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like that's a lot of it because, you know, there's a lot of people that they work hard to earn their money and support their families, and then just the responsibilities that you have making everything happen because, you know, my name's on everything, and if something bad comes back, it's not coming back on anyone but me. So, you know, I don't let that scare me at all because that just hurt your performance and hurt everything in your program. But there's definitely some responsibilities and a lot of liability.
I just could imagine. I mean, I didn't have my son until I was in my late 20s because in my early 20s, I wasn't even ready to be responsible for another a kid. And, you know, and I didn't get into a serious relationship until I was in my late 20s because I wasn't ready to be responsible for anybody else. I definitely applaud you because at 21 I couldn't imagine being responsible for as much as you are responsible for. That's insane to me. I gotta know your opinion as a driver going into Dover. We had two drivers sitting outside the chase, Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch, and what they had to do to accomplish getting into the next round, they did. In other words, Kevin Harvick had to win. Kyle Busch had to get second. How impressive is that to be a driver such as yourself, watching, you know, where you want to be and drivers you look up to, watch them accomplish exactly what had to be done?
It is impressive, but I think we expect that from those caliber of drivers and teams. They've proven that they can win almost any week, you know, if everything goes correctly. And so it wasn't really a shock to me as much as I think it was to some people because I expected those guys to run up front all weekend. But it definitely is what they needed to do and make it happen.
Yeah, it's to be expected, I agree, but it would have been easy for one of them to get in. My whole thing that impressed me, I would love to know what the odds were in Vegas. The odds are for both of them
we
to get exactly what they needed. Yes, that to me, that's the part that gets me. Not that Kevin Harvick, when we know that Kevin Harvick any given week can show up and dominate a race, and we watched Joe Gibbs Racing for the last 3 months dominate the Sprint Cup Series. But for both of them to play out exactly what had to happen, and even really for Junior, because he had to get that third in front of Casey Kane in order to him to get in as well. And to me, that's just crazy that those two, and just how it was a perfect day for both of them and what they needed to accomplish in order for both of them to advance. Because honestly, I think both of them still need to be in the chase in order for this chase to be as interesting as we want it to be. You eliminate two of the hotheads out of it, you kind of lost a lot of the possible friction. And then, of course, now after watching this week, and now we might lose Matt Kenseth, and it seems like one other driver that might possibly be an impact. You start losing all the possible conflicts on the track. So, I don't know, it was just crazy. How impressed have you been with the chase this year so far?
It's been exciting. I think this new format that they introduced last year has been what everybody wanted from fans, and I think it makes it tough for teams because there's so much pressure, but that's what we live in the moment for, to be clutch in those times and make it happen, and it definitely adds some excitement and to go in the final race with everybody zeroed out on points. You got four drivers and teams that can win the championship. It's really cool.
Your opinion as a driver, Kansas next week, and then Talladega. Talladega is the wild card race that it's kind of out of your control. Will Kansas, in your opinion as a driver, will Kansas be a very crazy, hectic race because those drivers are trying to either get that win so they do not have to worry about Talladega, or at least give themselves as many points as possible towards the front?
I feel like you'll see a few of them do that. I expect some of the guys just to go out there and have solid top 5, top 10 runs, to gain some more points, so they can be 18, 20 points up going into Talladega, which I mean Talladega doesn't guarantee much, but it's better than nothing, of course. I expect Matt Kenseth obviously to be fast. He's already he's towards the back in the chase right now, and then Dale Jr.'s out of it right now. But I expect Dale Jr. to have a really good run. I don't know if he'll be super aggressive to get the win because he's so good at Talladega that I think that's going to be his place that he can really win the race and go to the next round.
And I know that I've seen rule changes posted earlier today for the Sprint Cup Series. Is there any kind of rule changes to be expected in the ARCA Series next year? Do they do big changes when it comes to the cars and stuff, such as the Sprint Cup Series, or is it pretty cut and dry in the ARCA Series and not really much of a change?
They have a little bit. This year it's been a pretty big change with new Elmore 396 engine and the body package with the composite body that you're allowed to run on short tracks, and next year they'll be allowed to run on intermediate. So a little bit of tweaks going into next season, but it's pretty cut and dry.
Gotcha. Well, I didn't do this at the beginning, and I 99% of the time now, because I would say always do, but now that you're the first one probably that I forgot. Well, I did forget, but we already got into the conversation, into the interview, so I didn't want to cut in the middle of it and then go back into the conversation. So I'm going to do what I was supposed to do at the very beginning. At the end, I did leave some time for it. I want to give you an opportunity to plug social media, websites, sponsors, any of the drivers, and, car sponsors for them as well. Anything you want to throw out there before we let you enjoy the rest of your evening and get ready for your next race.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at The Mason Racing. Our team at MMM_race, Facebook page, Mason Motorsports, Instagram, Mason Motorsports, or at Mason Racing. And then obviously just this whole weekend would be possible with all the huge support from Carl Chevrolet for supporting the 78 team. These last two races they raced in at Iowa and Kansas. And then obviously AM Technical Solutions, a great sponsor of Austin Winsels, supporting the whole program. And Zach, who's coming on board with John West Townley this weekend is huge, along with the great food. So I'm super ecstatic by all this going on here, and everybody has worked super hard at the shop, and we've gotten out here to Kansas. We're going to have a great weekend and make it all happen and try to win that race.
Good luck coming up at Kansas. Hopefully we see one of the Triple M cars in victory lane. Would it be the ultimate dream to have a 1-2-3 finish?
Oh yeah, I mean I'd be ecstatic. I'd be pulling a Michael Waltrip and Dale Jr. July Daytona win celebration style.
You'd be definitely pinching yourself more than once on this one if that was to happen. But good luck for all three of your drivers this upcoming race. Good luck on the off season. Hopefully everything gets accomplished that needs to be accomplished so you guys are ready for the 2016 season. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to you sometime in the off season, and looking forward to keeping up with not only you and Austin but the Triple M team itself as you guys move forward.
I appreciate it, and thanks for the opportunity to be on the show, and you guys have a good night.
You too. That was Mason Mitchell, owner-driver of Mason Mitchell Motorsports. I tell you what, 21 years old, and the youngest owner / driver combo. I believe he's just the youngest owner, ARCA Series owner. But I know him and Austin Wayne are the youngest combo. And then just to know that we had him on the show, damn, I forgot to ask him if he was going to be sporting Superman shirts. I wanted to wait until the end to ask him that, as he was I'm not going to say most known, but that's what I most know him for is unveiling the Superman shirt in that first victory he had. But I can imagine 21 years old being an owner of a race team, and this is a very expensive sport. And so you have to have your T's crossed, your I's dotted. Everything has to be on point. You got to have the competitive products. You got to have talented drivers. And I tell you what, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine 21 years old. I don't know if people said was saying the same thing about me. I couldn't imagine. I think I went overseas at 19, seems like I turned 20 while I was overseas, and I know I turned 21 when I came back and was working my second job. So, I got to go to Bosnia. Well, got to go. But I was deployed to Bosnia, Croatia, and Sarajevo, Bosnia, Hungary, and Croatia. There you go. I spent time across all three of the countries. Most of them, countries. I spent most of my time in Hungary. I would say out of the year, 9.5 months. I was in Croatia for a couple months, and I was in Sarajevo, Bosnia for a couple weeks. But, you got a lot of people that say the same thing. I couldn't imagine being overseas and at 19 and, there wasn't a combat zone. They had just got done fighting over there. Just like I say this all the time, I couldn't imagine being in the military now. I could not imagine going to Afghanistan or Saudi or Iraq or wherever we're at, Korea with all that garbage going on as well, and Iran, and I just couldn't imagine. But I couldn't. I think it's hectic what I do, and I really don't do a lot. I mean, I say that, but I'm all over the place, and I'm constantly trying to expand our business. I mean, I spent the first 5 to 10 minutes of the show, expressing the need of having 100 followers to get on the iHeart Radio and trying to promote what we need to have happen for all the great employees I have. I couldn't imagine, where I've spent, quite a bit of thousands. I would venture to say, and I usually don't talk about this, but I'd venture to say somewhere probably between $10,000 and $15,000 easily, maybe more, but easily in the 4.5 years I've been doing this, very easily. And we started over day one multiple times. I had no idea, and this has all been a learning experience. And beginning this year when we did the corporation thing, that was an easy $1,000 there with everything when it was said and done. I mean, that's how I could say easily $10,000, $15,000 because I know the site's cost and, everything else, hosting and everything that we've done, staff that, we've been able to take care of at times at contests. But I couldn't imagine being responsible for, I'd be venturing and willing to say hundreds of thousands, probably $1 million worth of equipment. I'm not sure how big their shop is, and that whole, scenario, but I'd be willing to bet at least in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I, at 21 years old, I know I'm struggling doing what I'm doing now. I couldn't imagine, the staff, the responsibility. I couldn't imagine what the insurance bill is like to insure. Because I'm sure they got to have some kind of insurance on their cars or their drivers, and alone on top of insurance for themselves. And I just couldn't imagine. Definitely tip my hat to Mason Mitchell and that whole team for not only doing what he's doing, but be successful. It's one thing, we see a lot of starting parks, and we see a lot of drivers that never ever see anything but the last 5 to 10 spots on the finishing grid. But over there at Mason Mitchell Racing, they are winning. They are. He was the champion last year. They're getting sponsors, and not just some sponsor that paid them enough to make it 10, 15 laps out there and park the car. Sponsors that are helping them make sure that they have quality product and competitive product out there. But like I said, definitely tip my hat to him and that whole team. I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't imagine at all. Tell you what, crazy night. Already 10:05. Take this opportunity. I want to first of all thank Snafu Seasoning. You can check them out at snafuseasoning.com. That's SNAFU. Yeah, FU, but SNAFU seasoning.com. They are the sponsor of the Racing with Big Sweat show on Thursday nights. I know that he sends out a lot of that product, Steve Billmeyer, the host over there, to people that call in and that participate in the show. So make sure you guys tune in Thursday night. Good stuff. It's like $6.99 or $7.99 a bottle. Make sure you guys go check them out, support them, for supporting us. Steve said that Miss Lee put it on popcorn and it was banging. So it's not only good on meats, it's good on everything. So I know he got my address, so it was kind of one of the reasons I held off on not getting a bottle, because he said he was sending me a bottle. So I'm going to wait on mine before I buy one. You know, if I'll get one soon, I'll buy one. I definitely got to support them. They support us. So it's one of those things. And either way, I'm going to eventually buy a bottle. I just was going to use the free one first. And, you know, that is what it is. So, ha. Anyway, if you're not checked out fan pages, make sure you check out my fan page, Mr. CJ Sports. You can check out the sports side and the side of the house, 110 Nation Sports, or the radio and guest side of the house, 110 Nation Sports. 110 Nation Sports Radio. Make sure you guys go like us over there and show your support as well. Like I said, don't forget to follow us on Spreaker. We need those 100 followers so we can get on the iHeartRadio network. Snafu is good on everything. Ms. Lee just posted in Snafu seating is good on everything. I'm glad to hear it. Like I said, I'm going to definitely check that out. I'm going to do my NFL picks. I kind of had to do them on the fly the other night, as a matter of fact. One of our football pools that we're involved with, they have us do it on Monday nights because they're closed on Tuesdays, and they want to do the Thursday or Wednesday games. So, so the only thing that sucks about that, usually I go with the same picks that I pick on the Monday. The other thing that sucks is sometimes you find out injuries or quarterback benchings and everything else after you turn in your Monday sheet. So as of right now, I think all my picks are going to be the same, but I'm not sure. First game on the list. So I try to do 20 things at once. I know, I'm not supposed to. First game on the docket, the Thursday night game. We got the Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints. I made a mistake last week of picking the New Orleans Saints to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, come on, it was the Philadelphia Eagles. And they let me down like 39-10. One of 3 losses, thanks to the Chicago Bears coming back against Kansas City, and, of course, the Monday night game. The Steelers winning on the very last play of the game. Speaking of the very last play of the game, how about they suspended without pay the referee that screwed up and didn't stop the clock and 18 seconds was run off? 2 things with that. One, you got NFL players getting away with murder, and the NFL is not suspending these players. It takes someone knocking out their wife and dragging them out of an elevator and only get 2 games, but they slip up and let 18 measly seconds, and I say measly, but hold on, there's more to this, off the clock, and he gets suspended. The other thing is, you got all these people talking about how the NFL would have had another officiating issue if the Steelers wouldn't have came back and won. Everybody's point of view to this point has been, well, if the Steelers wouldn't have scored a touchdown, the NFL would have had another conspiracy on their hands and would have, had to. Why is people not looking at it the other way? 18 seconds. Let's say that 18 seconds was still on the clock. I don't believe it was 4th down, so obviously it was 18 seconds on the clock, the Steelers still would have hurried up because then they possibly could have got 2 plays instead of just 1 play. More than likely, they would have caught a passing play, which would have killed the clock. But let's say they scored a touchdown with 18 seconds. Who is to say that the San Diego Chargers does not return the ensuing kickoff for a touchdown to win the game? So there would have been a potential conspiracy theory or big to-do, what word I'm looking for, if the Steelers wouldn't have scored the touchdown, and that's all you heard about. But the only thing I can sit there and think to myself is, okay, what about the other shoe? What about the San Diego Chargers? I mean, if I was a Charger, I'd be pissed. I would be raising hell. I would be throwing out my 2 cents. Because there's 18 seconds on the clock. We have an opportunity to at least run a kick return back, run it back, and probably still have time for a play. But instead, we don't even get that opportunity. So like I said, that part I don't get. It just, I don't know. It blew my mind. Like, I'm just sitting there looking at all these Facebook posts and everybody running their mouth, and I'm just like, okay, the Steelers should be feeling the same way. I would, if I was a Steelers fan, I would be talking about conspiracy theory. Where's that 18 seconds back? And so I don't mean to say when I was talking about he only allowed 18 measly seconds. I'm just referencing to what the NFL players do and don't ever catch a suspension for. We have a referee that allowed 18 seconds to go off, and he gets an unpaid suspension for a week. That was really where I was going at with that. So that's, I don't know if it was crazy to me. Made a mistake of picking the New Orleans Saints last week to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Won't make that mistake again. Not against the Atlanta Falcons, who yet are still undefeated. I feel bad for. I feel bad for the New Orleans Saints because I think the Atlanta Falcons are not only going to win Thursday night, but I don't even think this is going to be a fun, interesting game. I think that the Atlanta Falcons are going to go into. I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to go into New Orleans and really just put a beat down on the New Orleans Saints. Chicago, Detroit. Is it a wake-up call? Did Matthew Stafford getting benched last week a wake-up call to, hey, we need to get the ball moving? We've yet to win a game. I've thrown 3 interceptions and now is sitting on the bench. We're going against a Chicago Bears team that has 2 wins, came back from Kansas City. Jamal Charles going out obviously, made that possible. But Chicago, 2-game win streak. I know it's weird to say. I got faith in the Detroit Lions. I have faith that the Detroit Lions are going to get things together, get it straight at home. I still honestly believe that the only reason the Saints even won, that the Bears even won last week was Jamal Charles being out. 30% production of that offense, they did not know how to conduct business without that. They were not prepared to not have Jamal Charles. And so I firmly believe that, and I firmly believe that the Detroit Lions are going to be victorious finally. And I want to note, 51-25. I'm coming up on my 70%. Yes, my 75%. I'm coming up on 70%, going for my 75. My ultimate goal every year is to have a 75% record. And a couple weeks, I had a couple rough weeks there, so I'm not going to lie. But got to say that sitting at 51-25, sitting 6 games above Shorty feels good, especially with the bets at the moment. If you want to know more about the bets, you got to tune in. You got to the CJ and Shorty show. It's an opportunity for Shorty and I to have these kind of conversations, a little bit more of the envelope-pushing kind of conversation. I was kind of surprised she was down, one, for doing the show, but two, letting us know that angle. And so, yes, if you want to know what the terms of the bet are, you got to make sure you tune in. This is not for your 10-year-olds to be listening to it. It's not. There ain't going to be no cussing or nothing graphic, but it's not an appropriate conversation for little kids either. So make sure that you guys tune in Fridays at noon for the CJ and Shorty show. Washington at New York. Washington can be competitive against Atlanta. Took them to overtime, but threw it away. I mean, literally threw it away, pick six. Jets. 3-1, looking good. I'd feel a lot more confident if you wouldn't have lost to Philadelphia. But here you are, 3-1. I like the Jets against Washington. I never thought I would ever pick a Ryan Fitzpatrick-led Jets team ever again, but I like what I see out of the Jets much more than I like what I see out of the Washington Redskins at this point. At home, I feel real confident that the New York Jets will do their thing and win. Arizona, Pittsburgh. God, it's tough. I've watched the Steelers to lose to Baltimore, then turn around and pull one out against San Diego. I don't want to hold a lot of weight on that San Diego win. San Diego sitting 2-3. They have not been the team that I expected them to win. I thought, honestly, they would be the team of the West, with Denver falling shortly right behind them. But I was really expecting San Diego to be the dominant team of the West, and that's just not how it played out. And so I don't hold a lot of weight on the Pittsburgh Steelers or the win that they just pulled out. But with that being said, they're playing the Arizona Cardinals, who have not let me down to this point. Well, I take it back. They did let me down about a week ago. Just not last week. They were victorious. They did what they had to do. I like Arizona. I've been sold on Arizona. I think that they are the team of the West. I think that they will win the AFC West or the NFC West. I still have them as a strong favorite to go possibly to the Super Bowl from the NFC representative. And I know that's a lot to say when you still have an undefeated Atlanta, an undefeated Green Bay, an undefeated Carolina team. And I hate using the fact that Carolina, using that all those words in the same conversation, undefeated Carolina team, when I know they played nobody. But I still think Arizona, pound for pound, is still the best. Chris Johnson stepped up. Carson Palmer's having a good year. Larry Fitzgerald has found the fountain of youth. That defense is solid. There's nothing about Arizona that I don't like, and I do like the fact that they're going to go into Pittsburgh and they're going to beat the Steelers this week. I think Michael Vick got lucky on that 74-yard pass to Wheaton. I don't expect the same thing to happen to Matthew or Patrick Peterson. So I got Arizona going to Pittsburgh, beating the Steelers versus having a Santonio Holmes tiptoe catch in the end zone for a Steelers win. Arizona over the Steelers. Kansas City, you lost 30% of your production. Yeah, productivity. I don't know what word I want to use. I don't think you fixed the problem in a week. No. Minnesota, as much as I hate picking a Teddy Bridgewater-led team because you don't know what you're going to get and don't expect a victory, I do like the fact that they have Adrian Peterson still. I got the Minnesota Vikings at home over the Kansas City Chiefs. Next game, Cincinnati Buffalo. I'm glad I picked Cincinnati in the first place because I felt confident to the fact that they're 5-0 and one of the most dominant teams in the NFL. Buffalo, I am not sold on you, and now I'm even sold. I said at 3-2, you're done. You're at least done until you get Taylor back. Yes, Tyrod Taylor is going to miss some games with, I believe it was an MCL injury. Expect to miss multiple weeks. So that means E.J. Manuel is back to being a quarterback, and that means the Buffalo Bills go back to losing games. Cincinnati goes into Buffalo, reminds the coaching staff, reminds the owner why E.J. Manuel was not the starting quarterback. E.J. Manuel probably will at least get this start. I don't know if he'll get another start or not. They might go to third-string quarterback or might go on the waiver wire and pick somebody up, such as what the Dallas Cowboys did, which I'm glad that I think everybody's glad the Dallas Cowboys are off this week. I think we're tired of hearing about Brandon Weeden and Matt Castle, two quarterbacks that never will and never have mounted to jack garbage. Denver at Cleveland. This is going to be my upset game. I watched Josh McCown put on a one hell of an arson display last week with that 400-plus yard throwing display he put on. At home, you got a Denver team that was unable to put an offensive touchdown up on the Baltimore Ravens, and Peyton Manning was unable to have an offensive touchdown last week. Josh McCown coming off of 457 yards, 2 passing, 1 rushing touchdown. I do not think that Josh McCown is still the answer, and he is not the savior. But at the same time, I have upsetting confidence that the Cleveland Browns will do exactly that. They will upset the Denver Broncos, knock them off the undefeated pedestal, and Cleveland will be sitting 3-3, and the Denver Broncos will no longer be undefeated and sitting 5-1 at this point. I know it's crazy, but karma is a mother. And for all those years that Denver did us dirty and kept us out of the Super Bowl, I would like for this upset to be a reality. So I got the Cleveland Browns over the Denver Broncos. Miami, fired coach, a lot of internal issues. Tennessee looks somewhat better than the Miami Dolphins. Tennessee sitting 1-3, Miami 1-3. Both of them really look garbage. More of the home team scenario at this point, and the fact that you're not going through new coaching and everything else. So I went with the Tennessee Titans, and you can tell by the tone of my voice, I am not real confident, but I'm not real confident in either team at all at this point. Well, I was never confident in Tennessee. I mean, you have Mark Mariota as your quarterback. There's nothing to be confident about. But Miami, I spoke high of them, and they have more than let me down. So I don't speak highly of them anymore. I don't have any confidence at all. Houston going to Jacksonville, another team. Houston, I have no confidence in you. 1-4 against the Jacksonville Jaguar team that is sitting 1-4. I mean, this whole AFC South is just pitiful, horrible. So, tell you what, on the good games, Is there really any good games that there's really no two good teams really going against each other? New England and Indianapolis, I guess, is your closest. Maybe your next closest might be that Cincinnati-Buffalo game. I don't know, maybe Arizona-Pittsburgh, but there's a lot of sloppy games going on. Well, we can throw the Carolina. I don't think it's going to be that good of a game, though, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But it's a lot of sloppy teams playing each other. Baltimore and San Francisco, Houston, Jacksonville, Miami, Tennessee, Chicago, Detroit. And then the good teams, Atlanta, New Orleans, that's lopsided. I don't know. But anyway, Houston and Jacksonville. Going out on a limb, I'm going to go for the home team. I don't think they know exactly what they want to do in Houston. They saw some life out of Brian Hoyer when he stepped in for Ryan Mallett, but they went with Ryan Mallett prior to that, after one game or part of a game, I can't remember how long they even gave Brian Hoyer. Now you look like you're going back and forth, and so do you stick with Ryan Mallett so you don't look wish-washy, or do you go with Brian Hoyer and put on a really good performance, except for that late interception? There's too many. And then Arian Foster. There's too many variables. Not that there's not a lot of variables in Jacksonville, but at least there's less variables, I guess. I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Carolina, Seattle, to me, this is a no-brainer game. I know the Seattle Seahawks just suffered a loss to the Cincinnati Bengals, but Cincinnati, honestly and truly, is turning a lot of heads, and we're starting to think that this team is a little bit more complete than we originally thought. Carolina, you played nobody. You've had a dismal schedule. You beat a Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. You beat a New Orleans Saint team. You beat a Houston Texan team. You beat a Jacksonville Jaguar team. You beat nobody. Probably four of the worst teams in the NFL is who you just beat. Not that the Seattle Seahawks are wowing us with their records. Don't get me wrong. 2-3 is not wowing nobody. But when you have, a combined record, we're looking at 2-8. 2-8, 3-12, 5-15 is what your combined opponents' records are at this point. You play nobody. I am tired of people coming in with all their Carolina Panther stuff. Yes, I'm down here in the Carolinas. I am tired of the talk of the undefeated Carolina Panthers. After they play legitimate opponents, I believe the next 4 games they got 2 or 3 legitimate opponents, then I would be more willing to give some credit. Carolina goes into Seattle and beats the Seattle Seahawks, I'll start giving you some credit. If you beat a 2-3 Seattle Seahawks team, I'm still going to give you credit. I don't see it happening. I don't see it remotely close to happening. I'd be willing to bet Seattle wins by at least 2, if not 3 touchdowns. It's not going to be that close, people. Carolina has not played a legitimate defense. Not that the defense is looking so legit lately, but they have not played a legitimate defense. They have not played a quarterback that's legit at this point. I mean, I hate to say that about Drew Brees, but this year he's not been legit. I don't know what's up with Drew Brees. But Carolina has, I would love to know. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to see I'm on the Yahoo Sports page. I want to know that they do the fan voting or whatever, and I'd love to know what the numbers are on this, what the percentage is looking like for this matchup so far. And they've not put the picks and odds yet. They got Seattle favored by 6.5 points, over under 41. It's going to be over 6.5 points. There's no doubt in my mind. Unfortunately for me, fortunately for me, I'll probably be working. I was going to say, unfortunately for me, it's going to be on TV. There's no problem. As I say, it's going to be on TV, and so that just takes one spot, one opportunity to watch a legit game I'm not going to be able to watch. But it's a 4 o'clock game, so yes, I will be home at that point. So unfortunately, one game is already going to be off the board that I'm not going to be able to watch because it's going to have that Carolina-Seattle game still in there. And I don't think it's going to be close. I do not think it's going to be a fun game to watch. Obviously, I'm going to be stuck on Red Zone because I don't know why I say that. I don't know if I've actually watched a football game. I think every Sunday that I've sat and watched anything, it's been NFL Network and the Red Zone. I just like being able to bounce around from game to game and see what's going on instead of just being stuck watching one thing. And I'm not going to pay all that money for DirecTV just to have the NFL package. San Diego at Green Bay. Green Bay, all the injuries you got going on, it makes it tough. It really does. But San Diego, once again, you lose, you collapse. Now you're going to Lambeau Field, and there's no way in hell I'm going to pick you. I got Green Bay at home. Baltimore, San Francisco. Wow, this is about as low as it gets. 1-4 Baltimore and 1-4 San Francisco. Two franchises that were once proud franchises. Two franchises that were known for their defense. Two franchises that their defenses have gone to the crap house, haven't they? Oh, my God. Baltimore, you let Cleveland come back and win, score 33 points against you. San Francisco. 140 points. You have allowed 140 points. There's only, 3 teams? 4 teams? 5 teams. Only 5 teams worse than you in the whole NFL. You're like 27th in the league on points given up. And then your offense is not producing at all. Your points for to points against ratio is worse in the league. You've only scored 75 points and have allowed 140 points, giving you the worst deficit. No production on offense. Defense ain't stopping nobody. I think it's funny that my friend is so hyped up on watching the Cleveland and the 49ers game together. Or at least they'll be competitive against each other, and it'll be an interesting game. And I'm sitting there thinking, dude, do you not watch the 49ers play? Do you not watch the Cleveland Browns play? We might not be winning games, but we're at least competitive. Our games are at least close. I mean, even said with a 2-3 record, we've only been outscored by 14 points. And even in our last win, we only won by 11 points or 3 points. So even with a 1-3 record, we was only outscored by 17 points. I mean, our games are close. How are you going to say that the Browns and the 49ers game is going to be competitive when the 49ers have not been competitive with anybody other than the one win they had? Sunday night game, we got the New England Patriots against the Indianapolis Colts. Kind of a toughie. Colts win last week. 3-game win, 3 games straight. But New England, 4 games straight, have They have outscored 95% of those teams that have played 5 games in just 4 games. In other words, I think there's only like 1 or 2 teams or so that they have not outscored, and those teams have played 5 games versus them playing their 4 games. Atlanta, with their 5 games, has got 162 points, and Arizona, 5 games, got 190 points. Every other team in the league, they have outscored, and they've done it in 4 games. And there has only been 4 for two teams. I was trying to remember how many weeks of byes we've had so far. So two teams at this point. God, it should have been more than two. There should be 4 games less, so there should be 8 teams. Where did I screw up at? 1, 2, 3, 4. Five. Now I got 5. Now I have an odd number. I wish that makes no sense anyway. Anyway, we got like 16, 6 or 18. There's got to be an odd number or even number anyway. So there's always like 6 teams with byes, but the Patriots, one of those 6 or 8 teams that have a bye, and they have outscored every team in the NFL except for 2. And those games, most of the teams have 5 games. That's crazy to me. Lucas Oil Field, New England Patriots, Indianapolis Colts. This is one of those kind of tougher ones, and not too tough. I guess the parts that I got to factor in is the fact that you won 3 games, you're at home, you're feeling confident. Yes, you've still been outscored by 14 points. That's like a horrible 3-2 record when you've still been outscored. Your defense is still allowing a lot of points to be put on the board. But there's no doubt that this Indianapolis team is legit, and there's no doubt this team's going to win. I mean, there's really no doubt that they're going to win the South, especially when all your teams are 1-3, 1-4, and everything else. But I have the New England Patriots. It's going to be a close one. It'll be a fun game to watch. I can't wait till Sunday night. That'll be a real fun game to watch. Giants of Philadelphia. God. Philadelphia coming off their win, sitting 2-3. This NFC East has gotten real interesting now that the Cowboys are finding themselves in the quarterback issue they found themselves in. Giants 3-2, Dallas, Washington, and Philadelphia all 2-3, all of them right there with each other. Giants on a 3-game win streak, Dallas on a 3-game lose streak, Washington lose 1, Philadelphia win 1. So it's interesting. And as much as I despise the New York Giants, I think that they are the team of the East. Even if Tony Romo and Des Bryant don't go down, I think this still would have happened. Yes, it might have came later in the season that the Giants overcame and took the East, or the Giants might even would have got a wild card because they went down 2 games at first. But the way the Giants look now, there's no doubt in my mind that the Giants were going to end up being the better team no matter who was back there at quarterback, no matter who was out there wide receiving. They have way too much talent. When they finally get Victor Cruz back completely, and you throw Beckham and Randall and Eli Manning actually playing decent football, good football, that Giants team is looking really good. Philadelphia coming off a win. I can't win for losing. If I don't pick the Eagles, they win. If they pick the Eagles, they lose. Pick them to beat the Saints, or I picked the Saints to win, they lose. I picked them the previous week, they lose. I can't win for losing. And so I think at home, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to show us something. I know everybody thought I was going to pick the Giants. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, I think DeMarco Murray has another good game. I think Sam Bradford starts building some confidence, starting to feel a little bit more and more comfortable in the box. And I got the Philadelphia Eagles at home being victorious. So I got Atlanta, Detroit, New York, Jets, that is. Arizona, Minnesota, Cincinnati. Cleveland, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Seattle. Green Bay, San Francisco, New England, and Philadelphia. Now, Shorty has her picks right here. I'll tell you what different picks she had than me. She went with the Washington Redskins over the Giants. She went with the Kansas City Chiefs over the Minnesota Vikings. She went with the Denver Broncos over the Cleveland Browns. And I just said it that way. I wasn't trying to clown. She went with Carolina over Seattle. She went with Baltimore over San Francisco. And she went with the Giants over the Philadelphia Eagles. Already 6 games up on her. I'm hoping that this week she does not bounce back. But there's a lot of different picks. I think there's almost like 6 different picks. If she does happen to bounce back and tie me, that means that she went perfect this week, and I will gladly be tied with her in the record if she goes undefeated. Because that means she wins either 1 or 2 football pools, and we can handle that. We can handle winning a little bit of some. If it is me losing, her outperforming me for a week. Tony Romo, Cowboys quarterback tells Patriots quarterback Tom Brady, see you in February. Yes. Brandon Weems pissed because he's no longer the quarterback. Matt Castle, are you serious? Do you think he's really going to help carry the team till you get back? A broken up collarbone meant Romo did not play in Sunday's game, which New England won 30-6, and inside the NFL microphone captured Romo hinting at a Super Bowl rematch to Brady. Yeah, don't get your hopes up. There's too many teams out in the NFC, Green Bay, Atlanta, Arizona, that are much better even with Tony Romo and Des Bryant on the field. So don't get all bent out of shape. Don't forget tomorrow we got the debut of Talking Hoops. Yes, I'm going to spend an hour getting you guys ready for the NBA season, and hour-long show. Looking forward to that. Thursday night, 9 o'clock, we got a 2-hour long Racing with Big Sweats. And it was funny because Steve hit me up, and he's like, slight problem. For Thursday, I have a late model driver looking for sponsorship, which would be a good topic, blah, blah, blah. Got this driver, but he just messaged me and said he wasn't racing this weekend but still wanted to be on the show. Is this too much? Like, Steve, it's never a problem. Look, I scheduled you for 2 hours. You got a full 2 hours to use. Now, granted, we usually use hour and a half-ish, maybe hour and a half in that ballpark figure. But look, you can take as long as you want. Excuse me. As little as you want, one at a time, overlap. I don't care how you do it. It's all up to you. I said, Chris and I will be there to be your wingman. I will be in the studio, watching the studio. Chris will be on the air with him. I might have a question or two, but usually if Chris is on the show, I just kind of watch the studio and take care of what needs to be taken care of behind the scenes. You do your thing. We got 4 great guests coming on Thursday night. Make sure you guys tune in. Thursday night show is going to be about drivers who walk the walk and talk the talk. These drivers roll out on the track with one objective: bring home the hardware. Join Racing with Big Sweats Thursday, October 15th from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, presented by Snafu Seasoning and produced by the 110 Nation Sports Radio Network. It's a full show, so get comfortable, check it out. In addition to featuring the panel of your hosts, Big Steve, myself, and Chris Yellow Constant Flag Creighton, this week's show will profile dirt modified driver Galen Hassler, dirt late model driver Michael Deskin, Dirt Outlaw Street Stock driver Dallas Mozingo, and Dirt Modified driver Tiana Berkeley. A lot of great, talented drivers coming on the show tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. Make sure you guys check it out. Also, don't forget, Friday, we got the debut of the CJ and Shorty show. It's going to be just tongue-twisted, getting used to it. Gives us an opportunity to kind of push the envelope. Maybe tell some jokes that we try not to do here, because this is more of a family-appropriated show sometimes, most of the time anyway. Maybe tell some jokes or give some provocative answers, I guess. I don't know. We're not going to be cussing or nothing, and not getting graphic, but it gives us an opportunity to be able to be us. And I think it'll be great. If you had an opportunity to hang out with Shorty and I, we're quite a duo there, a twosome. And you'll be amazed. One, most people don't think I'm as old as I am. And I don't know if most people just don't, because then they think I was old. Then you put me next to Shorty, who's just quite a few years younger than me. It definitely makes people kick and have a fun and crack up, because now we're going back and forth, and it's fun. We have fun with it. She definitely keeps me on my toes. She definitely entertains me. Keeps me motivated in life anyway. So gives us an opportunity to do something together on Fridays and have fun with it. So make sure you guys check that out. Trying to think what else before we wrap this up. I usually talk all the way till 10 o'clock, but I think we're about to wrap it up. I got a handful of things to get knocked out before we call it a night here as well. And I got to be back up first thing early in the morning. If you're interested in coming on the show, all you do is send a Miss Lee. That is LEE_110nation at yahoo.com. If you're interested in joining the 110 Nation, maybe you want to host or co-host a show, like I said, we're really looking at possibly opening this up to more hours on the show at a day. And, now that I know there's a way to call into Spreaker, we just got to figure out how to do it, but there's a way to do it. We're definitely looking on expanding and getting as many shows daily as possible. Even if we don't even right now, if we don't overlap, we can still do 5 hours a day. We would love to fill those 5 hours. Now that I know I can have a call-in, I would love to have the opportunity to have 5 hours right now at this point. And then if we have to up it, we can up it up to 8 hours before we really have to commit to anything. So, good God, that might be the goal for 2016. Before we finish 2016, not only be on iHeartRadio, but have 8 hours worth of show a day. Good God Almighty. We might find a goal. And that might be our 2000. I'm waiting for Ms. Lee to say, do what? No. But, that might be the goal. We'll see. But if you're interested in having a show or co-hosting a show, maybe write for our blog site, and maybe you're good with behind-the-scenes stuff. Maybe you want to help run our Facebook group, our Facebook fan pages, Twitter, social media, any of our social media, or maybe you're good at PR, marketing, all that stuff. All you got to do is hit me at MrCJSports@gmail.com. Make sure you check out our website, www.the110nation.com. Also check out our blog site, www.the110nationsports.com. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else. I want to make sure that I thank all my guests this week that have joined me. I want to make sure that I thank Eric Saunders. Had a great time. If you guys missed that show last night, make sure you guys tune in. It was really a great interview with Eric Saunders. If you don't know his story, it's a great opportunity to listen in and learn about his story and what he is overcoming and what he's accomplished. I've got to thank Izzo, Patrick Taylor, of course, Mason Mitchell tonight. All those that went over and followed us over on Spreaker, we need those 100 follows. We are really on the verge of busting this thing wide open, but we need your guys' support. I got to thank all the new followers on the Spreaker, though. I know most of them came from Chris Yellow Caution Flag Creighton, which speaks a lot because he has his own thing going on, and he is helping us as well. And you know, we're really working on some things together and looking forward to 2016. And I got to thank him because he put out the word. He was showing me messages. I don't know if he thought I didn't believe him or not, but he was showing me screenshotting and conversations he was having with people, and we gained about 10 or 11 people today. So I got to thank him for sharing and getting his fan base to help the cause. But make sure you guys follow us over on Spreaker. I'm sorry. We're also on iTunes. We're on SoundCloud. We're on Stitcher. We're on multiple platforms, and we're just looking to gain more and more platforms. And ultimately, the two things I would love to see in 2016, as even before, but at the latest 2016, is for us to be on the iHeartRadio network and us to be on TuneIn Radio. Those are two things that are reachable goals, being on this Spreaker platform, and we want to take the most of that opportunity and advantage of that. So make sure you guys follow us. Make sure you guys get over there. Please go over there and follow us so we can make this dream a reality, and I can do what Mason Mitchell is doing and building this strong company and company that's proven to last and proven they can compete with everybody. You can follow me at CJ Sports One, the 110 Nation, at 110 Nation. You can follow Miss Lee at CreedyRN, that's CreedyRN. Shorty can be followed at Erin, that's ERIN _Anglin, ANGLIN. Trying to think if there's anything else before we wrap it up. I think that's about it. Got all the shows out there for the rest of the week. Want to let you all go. Y'all have a great night, and for those that tune in to the 7 o'clock NBA show tomorrow, talk to you tomorrow. The 9 o'clock Racing with Big Sweat, talk to you later on tomorrow. For those that tune in to the CJ and Shorty show Friday, and if not, Monday, we'll be back at it. Have a great night.
O'Reilly. Stop by any of the 30 Raleigh-Durham O'Reilly Auto Parts stores, where you'll find everyday low prices on the parts you need to keep your vehicle at its best. Our guaranteed low prices ensure you're always getting our best deal. In fact, we'll match any auto parts store's price on any like item. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.